In this video, we're going to develop a simple Android application using Android Studio version 3.32. The first step is to create a new project. Android Studio gives us a lot of options for what we want to do. Now, we're going to select start a new Android Studio project. If we had an existing Android Studio project, we will select open an existing. So we're going to select start a new Android Studio project. Now the next step is choose a project. Android can run in different devices, including phones, smartwatches, TVs, and other devices. So we have to select in which device our application is going to run. So for our case, we are going to select phone and tablets. As here you can see, you can go to watches, you can go to TV. So we're going to phone and tablets, and we're going to select an empty activities for opening our new project. Now the next step is selecting an activity. So Android applications are made up of collection of screens, and every screen contains an activity. We can have several activities in our application. For example, we can have an activity for playing music, we can have an activity for sending messages, an activity for taking photos, and an activity for doing so and so and so. Now we're going to select an empty activities for our project and click next. Now the next point we are supposed to be careful is choosing the minimum API level. People wonder, what the heck is an API? So an API is an acronym for Application Program Interface. So it's a program containing codes that help us in adding certain functionalities in our application. And here in Android Studio, you can see we have from API 9 to API 28, and as future days come, there will be future release and more are going to be added. Now if you go to help me choose, and you can see here we have an API level and cumulative distribution, means that the number of devices your application is going to run. So when you're choosing an API level, you must think of how many devices do you want your application to run. And I think we want our application to run to many users as possible as we can. So we have to choose a low API. So when choosing low API, we're going to a downside that we have to write a bunch of code to gain a functionality that could be easily obtained when we use the high API. So we're going to select KitKat, the Android platform version 4.4, API level 19, which is going to run in 95.3% of the devices. So it's okay. And we select here 4.4 and click finish. Now we wait the application to build and sync. Android Studio has developed several files. Therefore, Android application is just a bunch of files just compiled in a certain format, APK. And you can see here the Android Studio wizard has developed some initial codes, and we have an activity main.xml, which is used to define the layout, how the views are going to position, and we have one view which is a text view, and it is displayed using constraint layout, and we're going to talk this much more in next videos. Now let's try running our app, and we're going to now in running here you can use a physical device, and we're going to show in next videos how to set up a physical device and also how to set up a virtual device, which we have set an Nexus 5X as our virtual device, and we're going to start the application and run it. And the application goes: my first Android application, Hello World. Congratulations, and watch the next videos for more. Thanks.